everyone, it's Sandra Ganley here, and I am so excited to bring you the new Country Chats podcast. I'm going to be talking about all things in the Irish country music scene, from singers to songs, dances to dance venues. I'll also be interviewing singers and dance teachers along the way and delving a little bit deeper into the great world of social dance and country music here in Ireland, so I hope you'll be able to tune in.
All right, everybody, you're very welcome back to episode 2 of the Country Chats podcast, and I'm delighted to introduce today's guest, who is Miss Clodagh Lawlor. Clodagh, you are very welcome.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for having me. This is amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm delighted to have you here. And just to confirm to everybody, we are in 2 separate counties. We are not together. We are social distancing, and we are chatting via Zoom. So it's great. Thank God for all the internet stuff, and we're able to chat today.
Exactly. There's a lot to be said lately now for social media, keeping us all going, which is great.
Absolutely. And your line of work, which we'll get to later on. But Clodagh, tell us, I feel like I know you from social media. I've never actually met you, but I feel like I do. And I feel like I know a lot about you in the last year or two, because you've obviously built yourself up, you've come to the forefront, you're flying it. But a lot of people are always wondering about you growing up, how you got into singing, what age were you, influences, all that. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I suppose singing didn't just happen last year when I was on the Late Late Show. It happened from a very young age. We were very young. I was about 6, well, actually, I think it was drama school, first of all. It was very, very young age. And I'm talking like two when I started, not even been funny when I say that. And then kind of started going to stage schools when I was younger. Mom and dad put us into them. And from there, then when they finished, I was about 16, I think 15 or 16. And I was trying to find a way how I was going to become a performer more so, and trying to learn the craft on my own. And I began busking on the streets of Galway, up in Shop Street.
Wow.
Yeah, so do you know what? A lot of people have started busking, and I'll tell you, anyone that's listening to this, if there's any way that you want to figure out how will I start as an artist, busking is the way, because busking it's like being on stage. You know, you're just there in front of so many people, and I think that helped me at the start, learning how to interact with people, how to perform, how to, you know, like talk to the public. That's a really big thing as well, you know, and how to portray yourself in the right way. And then any money that I made from that went towards my music, let it be recording time in the studio, or could have been music equipment that I wanted at the time. And did that for a couple of years, still do that now. I won't lie, I've done that before all this coronavirus. It was before December. I went into Limerick and I do busking still. And then I was, you could kind of say that's what I've been doing. I haven't really been doing a whole lot. I'd sing at weddings and stuff like that as well. And any kind of gig that I would have gotten, I took. And then I suppose I got a great opportunity to be the lead singer in an Irish Celtic band called the Young Irelanders, that is run by Eric Cunningham in Galway, and we toured America last year with that, and we just did Canada there last October. And I was supposed to go to America this year again with them, but all going on, it couldn't happen. But then last March I came home from Canada with the lads, and then the Late Late Show happened, and then from there just kind of opened up this world that I never thought that I'd be in. But you know, it's been incredible. But like, as a lot of people think, like, you know, they didn't know who Clodagh Lawlor was until before the Late Late Show, you could say. But it didn't just start last year. I've been doing my apprenticeship for quite a while now. And
yeah, it's kind of a natural progression, I suppose. Yeah. With me being a dancer, mainly a dancer, and I play a bit as well. You grow up doing it. You don't just wake up one morning and say, I think I'll be a singer, and bring out a song. It's a natural progression. I think even when you're younger, it's stand up there and sing a song from Airly, and stand up there when there's visitors and do a dance, or it's just a natural thing. So you done music in college then as well, didn't you, in Limerick?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about college. You know, so much has happened in the last year. I forget about everything that I've done. I was only actually talking to Megan Scully earlier on, and I was saying, like, you know, we were actually at such a fast pace before all of this coronavirus, you know, made us slow down. I've forgotten about things that I've done. But college as well, yes, I was in LIT for 3 years doing music technology and production, and that again was a great course. And in my last year of study, I kind of learned a lot about the music business side of things. So I was kind of it was like someone was looking down on me, kind of equipping me for this big kind of, I don't know what you say, eruption that was going to happen in my life, you know, in the music industry. Because again, knowing how to interact with the crowd, talk to the public, but knowing the business as well. And that, Sandra, for yourself with dancing, you have to know the business more than anything else. And that's a big side to it, not just getting up on stage as well.
Absolutely. And what years were you in Limerick? Did you finish lately?
So I only finished last October. Very funny again.
Okay, because I was in Limerick too, and I was wondering, did our paths ever? Because I was there. I done Irish music and dance in UL.
Yes. Yeah.
But I would have been gone when you started, I would think. So
but you know what, I went to college in DCU as well, and I didn't like the course, so I came away from it and then worked in Aer Lingus in Shannon Airport for nearly for a couple of months, and then I went back to college and I knew what I wanted to do. So I've been kind of on a big circle there now for a while, kind of wondering where I was going to fall under, and I was just very lucky that the Late Late Show happened for me and that I was ready for the opportunity, because I think I'd still be wondering if I hadn't gotten such an opportunity.
Well, I think, what course did you do out of curiosity in DCU that you didn't take to?
Oh Lord, health and society. Health and society. Now, anyone that's listening to this and knows me would know that if the dog got sick, I'd be like, oh, can't be in the room. And I was in Dublin, thriving to be in the health world. Now, probably, it's a great world to be in and everything, not taken away from anyone, but just me as a person, I remember thinking, mother of God.
Well, I'm laughing at you because it's similar enough for me. So I was 17 when I done the Leaving Cert first, and I had health science and physiology and sports and rec and all these crime scene investigation stuff and all this.
Yeah.
And I didn't have Irish music and dance down at all, and I ended up repeating the Leaving Cert because I just didn't do as well as I wanted to. And when I redone the Leaving Cert, there was none of that down. It was Irish music and dance the whole way. And just to think, if I went to college after first year, or after my first Leaving Cert, like, God, where would I even be now? Like, I mightn't even be dancing. Like, it's just so the best for anyone listening like that, who's, even though I know the Leaving Cert is up in there at the moment, but oh God, repeating is the best thing I ever done.
It was, even for me. Now, not that I wasn't great attending the old repeat year, but
did you repeat as well?
I repeated as well, yeah. So we took the same cycle nearly since we were talking. Like, definitely repeat is a great year. I think it's so hard to ask someone at 18 years of age what you want to do, and I only understand that now. I remember my mum and dad saying, look, take the year out and see what you want to do, focus on the music. And I remember thinking, no, the music can be a backup plan, because I remember guidance teacher telling me that before, and me not ever thinking that I'd be able to make it as such, and I suppose you're young and you're naive and you see everyone going to college and you want to have
caught up,
but at the end of the day, when college is over and you hate what you're doing, there was no point being in college. But music for me then, like when I did the music technology and production in LIT, that just changed me. I enjoyed going to college then. There's a lot to be said for loving what you do. And then now my final year, they were so great. They let me go on tour. Imagine, final year.
That's the same with us. We were allowed, if we had to go on tour at any stage, you just had to give a note and off you went.
Yeah, it was so great, that like music colleges allow that. Because I know sometimes there is complications that people can't leave their courses and go away. But yeah, that's been my life cycle before Clodagh Lawlor was on the Late Late Show. Kind of been up and down all over the place, but she got to where she wanted to anyway. She's near to where she wants to be.
It sounds so similar to me. It's gas, like, because I actually went on and done a master's then in primary teaching. And then decided, sure, I'll have a dance school, but that was by accident anyway. I didn't even plan to have that.
It happens, Sandra, and that's, everything happens for a reason. And like, you have to just look at that as being a lesson, and obviously your school is huge now. Your name is out there for being one of the top driving teachers in Ireland as well. So everything happens for a reason, and it's great when things work out. It really is. And we look back in those years thanking them now, because if we weren't lost back then, we wouldn't have what we have now.
Absolutely. So then after, so you done The Voice as well. Before we go to the Late Late Show, you done The Voice in 2016.
Yeah, The Voice of Ireland. I did that when I was like 18 or 19. I can't remember. But I always
were new to it all then, I suppose. It was a brand new scene. Like, even television was a different scene then for you.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously that was 18, 19. Like, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to try and be a country singer, but you have to remember, TV is TV at the end of the day. And anyone, again, that's listening to this that looks at talent competitions, they're very good if you have that wall that you can put up and protect yourself from being not like, it's not being used. It's just like used to benefit them more so than being used to, you know, to better you. It definitely, it didn't do anything for me, the whole competition. None of it did anything for me. I think the only part of it that did something for me was that if I was asked to go on TV in the morning now and told, you know, we put you on TV and just say this and that, and we let you win the competition. It's all the psychology behind it, and you have to be able to, you know, adapt to that. So at the time, I didn't really adapt it, and I got knocked out in the battle stages, whatever that was at the time, and like it took a toll on me, because I suppose back then I just thought that, oh, I'm useless, I'm not good enough. And you have these like 24, 25-year-old producers, researchers telling you can't sing, and you'd be like, what? And like I remember watching Mary Morris there not so long ago, and she auditioned for like American Idol, The Voice. She got only to like certain stages and then told like, okay, go on, go home. Now she's one of the biggest country singers in the world, and she's getting paid by these like TV shows to use her songs. So it's never down to you as a person, it's down to, as I said, what you can give for a show. So it was never really music, but I can only say that now, because at the time I was like, oh my God.
The thing about it is, you probably found it tough at the time, but now you're looking back going, my phrase, because like when I'd be sitting watching telly with Micheál, be it a reality show or anything, I'm like, that's scripted. When you're involved in telly or film or music or anything, you can tell when they're told to say things, even if it's a reality show. And I suppose back then you didn't know that things were being scripted, but now looking back, you can see like, oh, that's so obvious.
Yeah, and you know, the likes of, like, I'd be laughing, like Love Island is a great show, you know, and I do find it very good for TV, but people, like some of my friends, like, they're so in love. And I'd be like, I'd be in love too for 50,000 if I had it for a couple of weeks. And if they're like, no, he really means this, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not even going to try and like back up now your statement, because it's TV at the end of the day. But look, if they weren't told to say stuff, would it be entertaining? We'd switch it.
Or they wouldn't say it, or that kind of thing.
I would love the dream one day, be able, if you were ever successful enough, that you could go on and actually be a judge and actually help people. That would be the nice side of it. But we never know. Someday we might have a country competition in Ireland, and we could be on judges.
But please God, you never know. So you mentioned there, you said The Voice didn't do a lot for you, and I know that's not, you're not saying that in a negative sense, but do you feel it didn't really give you that big push or anything like that?
Not musically, definitely not musically.
Did people pass any heed of you? I know that sounds blunt.
You know, look, you have the like heed in the way, like, noticed you from it, is it?
Yeah, or I mean, social media wasn't that big then, really, was it? Or did people like?
It was, do you know what, like at the time people knew that I was on it, and people were always
locals kind of and stuff.
Yeah, she was on The Voice, and look, if you look my name up on the internet, The Voice comes up and stuff like that. So that there are kind of things you'd love to be able to remove from the internet. But look, as I said, like, you know, these things happen in life and they're lessons, and I look back on it now as a learning curve, you know, in my life. And it does better me and kind of help me, even when you're like, you know, when we're on TV now and doing interviews and stuff, you nearly know what comes across the best on TV, and you know what TV programs are looking for. So it did have its pros and its perks with me, but it didn't do anything for me as an artist or a musician. No, I could have been an actor more so than a musician on it. You know, that kind of way.
And I totally get what you're saying. And other people might listen, mightn't. As I said to you before, we were chatting before we started recording the podcast here, and we were saying how, you know, people might ever think we're ungrateful or that kind of thing. But it's not even that. It's just some things just don't benefit you as much as others, or it mightn't just have been your time or something like that. Like I'm not saying it as I want to say it, but I think it makes sense in a while when we get to the Late Late Show, because I have something I want to say about it. So I suppose moving on to the Late Late Show, that was your big reveal, really, wasn't it?
The Late Late Show was incredible. I remember I seen Mike Denver and Ryan Tubridy on the Late Late Show, you know, talking about the show, and I was at my friend's house in Galway, and they were just like, go on, enter it. And I was like, do you know what? I will. And then in the back of my mind, when I was entering it, when I was filling out the application, I was praying to God that whoever judges me, or whoever's judging my capabilities for the show, please let them know what country music means, or what country music is, or what country music stands for. Like,
because when you think RTE, you don't think country music.
I just thought a few young researchers in college in front of me, telling me to sing a country song. And I was like, can you...
people as well, like dubs. No offense to the dubs, but...
You know, not even that. It was just like, you know, the voice that time, it was all young researchers. And you sit in a room and not been bad, not taken for granted, but nobody was ever was a music person. And that's like, you know, I'd never ask a doctor to come in and judge 3 singers because he wouldn't have a clue what they're judging for. So I was just praying to God, if I ever got granted an audition, that there'd be artists, there'd be obviously country music people that know the scene in front of me. And I didn't know who the judges were, what they were going to be. I remember then I came home from tour in America. I had I think I was home for like 4 days, got a call saying, hey, you know, we want to audition you in Mullingar. So I went up to Mullingar and went up there not knowing what was going on. Then all of a sudden I see this hurrah of women outside the hotel, and I was like, what in the mother of God is there all these women outside the hotel for? And like, because Ryan Tubridy had his radio show there as well, so I was thinking, sure, maybe they just want to be on the radio or pictures of Ryan. And everyone started screaming at one stage, like girls are running up the road, and I was like, what in God's name is going on outside? And then David James was there at the time, and I'd only met David for the first time there. Again, we fell to each other from social media, but we didn't. And he said, oh, Nathan Carter's here. And I was like, what? And I was like, what's he doing here? And then someone told me, oh, he's judging. The thing is, the Ennis brothers there as well, and they said, oh, he's judging. And I was like, you're joking. So whatever bit of anxiety I had when I came into the hotel, I was gone overload, thinking, oh my God, I'm singing in front of Nathan Carter. Then when I was standing there, I saw Margot walk in. I was like, don't tell me Margot's a judge. And then I remember seeing Jonathan Owens, and I thought to myself, I did know Jonathan at the time, but I knew who Jonathan was. Like,
yeah, and he give you that bit of, well, he knows. If even you saw Jonathan alone, you'd know, well, he knows what he's at.
Yeah, so my anxiety was going through the roof. Then I was like, oh, I'm not prepared mentally for this audition right now. And then I saw, you know, there's loads of people coming in and auditions, and, you know, I saw John Farry and everyone. So I was thinking, oh my God, they're actually judging.
When you know everyone, it's probably harder because you would have known David James, Ennis brothers, like, and you'd know other singers' faces, like, so I think it probably was harder when you knew everyone.
Oh my God, it was just, my heart couldn't stop racing. And I remember being upstairs in the toilet, like, you know, just kind of trying to calm myself down because there was nowhere else I could have gone. And thinking to myself, look, there's no point now getting upset about this. Just go in and do what you have to do. So I think I was like third in, and went in, and sure, like I'd met Nathan before. A couple of weeks before I went on tour, my friend Peter Maher, you know, was very good friends with him, and he said, come on into Showing You Well. So I went in. So I was thinking, oh God, Nathan's going to remember me now as the person that just said, hey, can me and my friend get a picture with you? So I was like, oh no. And then Margot, sure, obviously Margot being a female in the industry, we all look up to her, and I was thinking, oh my God. And then walked in, and sure, I said, there's not, like, I'm not going to lose anything by going in now. And I just was myself for the whole 30 minutes I was in there. And I was asked, you know, that time, would I sing Shallow? And I remember thinking, oh Jesus, I will. And
you seen the film and all that?
Yeah, I'd seen it. And then I cheekily said, Nathan, sure, if you want to sing it with me, you can. And he was like, oh, I don't know the lyrics. And then I had to go out and get the music because I was told to prepare it, and came back in, and Nathan said, do you want me to sing it with you? And I said, yeah, no problem. I said, this is no pressure.
All cool and calm, like, no
pressure. So I remember coming out of the room, and everyone was like, did you just sing with Nathan Carter? And I was like, I think
they could probably hear you outside the room, like, you know, that's the way I see it. You can...
Yeah, you could hear everyone because it was just like a partition in the middle of the hotel. And I remember coming out going, yeah, I think I just did. And it happened so quick, and, you know, it was great. And I gave it my all. And then about a week later, I was in Limerick, and I got a call. I was always waiting for the number to come up, you know, 01.
Dublin number.
And during the week, that same week, twice, I had been in a garage. My car had a bit of trouble with it. But, you know, you go in, you fill out stuff in, like, garages. Oh. The garage was an Audi garage, and you know, you give your email address or phone number, and they never stop ringing you and ringing you then. And I know it's a good sign that they wanted to see how you went and stuff, but the number kept ringing 01. And I remember this girl, her name was, I think it was Kate. She goes, hi, this is Kate from Dublin, blah, blah. I was just, how's your service with Audi? And I was like, yeah, it's great, thank you very much, blah, blah, blah. And then they rang again, and then I did the third call was 01. I said, oh, mother of God, it's Audie again. So I was like, hello. And they're like, hi, Clodagh, it's so-and-so from RT. And I was like, oh my God. And I was in Limerick and they told me, and I literally, I started kind of screaming. I'm sure everyone around me was wondering, like, what is wrong with your one? And my friend was with me at the time, and we had to run to the car. And then I just totally on the phone, said, can you like pause for like 2 seconds or just get to the car because I can't contain my excitement. I'm in the middle of Limerick. But that was just like, the Late Late Show was just incredible. Like incredible. The experience of being on the Late Late Show is there'll never be something, I don't think, that'll top it for me, especially being an Irish artist as well. You know, the Late Late Show is what you always kind of strive towards, and it being 24, getting to do it at 24 was, I actually still pinch myself when I think about it, and I see myself beside Ryan Tuberty on the couch, you know, and I just look back on clips and stuff. It's just been crazy. And all the clips came up this week then on my phone, you know, memories.
Their memory, yeah.
Yeah, so that was just great. But then I knew when the Late Late Show came that was when the work was going to have to start. And from then, you know, going on the Late Late Show, doing what I did was great. But then after that was where the hard work was going to have to start. And
well, that was your big push, like, and it's so funny because I remember watching, because that was actually the first country music special I wasn't at. I've been at all the other years. I've been every
year. The year before, and I remember seeing you and Jared Butler up the front, and my friend PJ said, that's Jared Butler now, because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know Jared back then, you know. And that summer then I went to Cowboys and Heroes and I met him and I, you know, introduced myself, whatever. But I entered that, you know, the Cowboys and Heroes search for a star thing as well.
Yeah.
That as well. And I remember being at it the year before and the two of you are up front having the talk, and then my friend Peter's like, Jer, he just dancing around the place. And it's just so funny a year later how we all know each other now.
Yeah, it's gas. Actually, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was saying how so the night you were on the Late Late Show was the first one I hadn't been at, and we knew it was going to be you because from being in the scene, and like, sure, I know David, and I didn't know the Innes brothers at the time, but my friend Aoife had entered as well. So we had narrowed it down to who got a call, who didn't get a call, and we knew it was going to be you.
I couldn't say.
No, had you announced beforehand?
No, I couldn't announce.
No, but we kind of had it narrowed down to like one or two, kind of. So on the night that you were on it, when you sang, I looked to see how many Facebook followers you had and how many Instagram followers you had, and then I looked the next day because I'm so interested in like social media and Google Analytics and all this, and your figures jumped. You were literally getting followers, like 100 followers in a minute. I remember doing that because I was so interested in it, like to see. How is it going to? It's so weird. Like that's what I remember from that night. Like
we left my phone down. My friends, because it was my birthday the same night. I was 24 on the Friday, but we recorded on the Wednesday.
Right,
you know,
it's always pre-recorded.
Yeah. So my friends came over, family members came over, and we had, you know, we were just sitting around and all waiting for this big moment. And everyone was like, "Leave your phone there now. Don't touch it until, you know, you come on and you're finished." Well, whatever, you know, I went on and people could see my name, and then me and Nathan performed, and then the phone just started tapping, and then it stopped, and then Nathan put up a picture of us, and it's just so funny how we're so like influenced by social media, you know, that kind of way. And they like the song Shallow, for me, I wouldn't have been 100% mad about it, you know, but at the time we just had to be told we had to do what we were told. And
yeah, because I know there was a lot of controversy over it. Is it country? It's not country, blah 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 blah. I mean,
we're back to the side of TV. A Star Was Born on the Late Late Show, the movie A Star Was Born was out. It was Bradley Cooper and you know, it just put it all together now, and you'll start to understand the psychology behind TV. It was never down to the music side of it there. But like, again, look, I mean, I wouldn't take it back. I thoroughly enjoyed singing with him. Anyone will say that. You get to sing with him. It's just, you know, still to this day, it's great. And yeah, it was just the phone that was just crazy. And still, you know, it's funny. I think without social media, I don't know if, not that we wouldn't be as big, but it's certainly a big factor in music these days.
Absolutely. And I mean, as I've said a few times already, that was your push forward. Like, I mean, I last week when I was getting questions and stuff ready for our interview, I just quickly went on Facebook and Instagram and checked how many followers you had, because I do this for all of them. So on Instagram you had 11.8 thousand, and then I went on just before our chat today, and you're gone up to 12.1 in a week, like.
Yeah, I know.
And on Facebook you're nearly on 18,000, like, which is nuts, like. But it doesn't seem to phase you that many people is watching you, because even I know you do a lot of Q&As lately, and there's a few questions that pop up more than others.
Yeah, do you know, at times you just want to address one or two of them, and some of them to be, are you single? And you be like, yeah, I am. Like, what does that got to do with my music? But you get so many of them that I'm like, okay, I'm just going to answer this one. And then
are you single, and are you with Nathan?
Yeah, do you know, you were like, hey, you're having a laugh, mother of God.
And even like, I know, you just have to laugh, don't you? And I'd say then you're glad when a music question comes in.
Yeah, I love when the music question comes in, or something like about me, you know. And like, I suppose, you see, because I've just been, you know, again, social media world, when you're at festivals and you do a song with someone, so someone automatically thinks, oh God, to see the way they turned at each other, there's definitely something there. And you're like, no, we're just doing our job on stage.
Yeah.
We're putting on a show, like, do you know, that's what you do. And there's, God almighty, there's nothing behind any of it.
Yeah.
It's just enjoying ourselves on stage and having fun and loving the music.
Yeah. Did you get any backlash from the Late Late Show, or did you notice it? Was there just too much happening? You know, because I suppose everyone always talks about, oh, it's great, and the Late Late Show, and it's brilliant, and all this, like, but there is negatives, like, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, do you know what? Like,
not to the actual Late Late Show, but to the, you know, do you get much negativity or trolls on Instagram or anything like that?
I'm very lucky. I don't get a whole lot. I don't. But you will have a few people that like will, you know, they will say stuff, and they will like be like these little comments, but you know what, I just actually laugh at them. So I'm like, if you can sit behind a computer and belittle someone or something they're doing like that, then who are you to question what that person's doing? And I'm very, very lucky. I haven't had many. I've maybe now in my whole time been on the scene, maybe one or two. That's about it. Nothing too much. Like, they're just kind of smart comments more than anything. And
yeah, it's not directly like you are such and such or such. It's
oh God, no, thank God, never. Thank God, nothing like that. I've been lucky now. You know, I have a great following, and I said this to Megan Scully. I was doing an interview with her earlier on today, and I think it's amazing, the country music scene, because Megan wouldn't be as familiar with the country music scene.
I don't know Megan, but I follow her, so yeah. I know what she's about and all that.
Yeah, so she's a presenter on Classic Hits, and you know, she was saying, are you worried about the country music scene, and you know, what you think is going to be after the coronavirus and everything? And I just said, I'm actually not worried one bit about the country music industry, because unless you're in it, and as we were saying there before the interview, the circle is so small, it's like a family, and the people that follow it are like our family. Everyone knows each other, and the more festivals you go to, I have met so many friends along the way from going to festivals, and I just think that there's no fear of the country music scene. I don't think that anyone should be worrying that they're not going to be able to gig in the morning, because that is the complete opposite. If anything, is going to make people more stronger and more united together than anything, you know. So
well, I'm glad you brought it up, because that was one of the things I was going to talk about, was how has it changed for you? And I mean, obviously you're not gigging, but you've a bit more time for music. How is it affecting your album? Because you've an album coming out, don't you? Or in the pipeline?
Yeah, the album, that was the kind of big project this year. You know, I'm doing with Peter Maher, Below and Clock Jordan in Tipperary, and Peter and myself for so long, I suppose we're trying to kind of brainstorm it together, because it doesn't just happen. And I didn't want to just do a song for the sake of it. I wanted it to be a personal album, and just wanted it to be me more than anything else. And it's taken its toll, but at least I got one song out there before all this kind of went down. Thank God, Me and Johnny Cash, my new single, and I'm very, very lucky I got that out, because I don't think I'd have any material for a while if I didn't get that out. And the album, I was hoping maybe September, going well, that we were going to work all through the summer in September, October, or have the bones of it definitely done by September. But I'd say now it might be later on in the year. But look, these things happen. Like, it's not like for death at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not. And I think once people that new single now, once they hold on to that for a while, that there'll be hopefully another one. I'll try and get another one out if I can, depending on the restrictions, because Peter is a bit from me now, where I live in Clare, you know. So I would love to think that my work is essential for country music lovers out there, that if I'm at a checkpoint, that the guards will be like, go on, it's fine, my mother needs to listen to you at home, that I could get past them. But Not at the moment anyway. Hopefully June. I'm hoping, you know, when people can start going to houses, wherever that phase is, that it'll give me a reason to be able to go, to actually go work.
Go and record. And I suppose the thing about it, in a recording studio, it's literally you in a room and him in a room. You're kind, you know, you're
not near him, yeah.
So yeah, hopefully in June, because I'm even thinking I might be able to start back up my private lessons in June, because in a private lesson it'll be me and, say if it's a couple, I'm not actually near the couple, I'm just standing watching them and directing them, whereas they're dancing together. So I'm kind of hoping that may.
Yeah, and Sandra, what do you think? Like, do you think the whole social dancing scene is going to take a different toll? Like, that's what I was worrying about, the only social dancing.
It's so hard to know, because I've been following a good bit on Facebook where some people are like, oh no, God, no, sure, we'll all be back out in force and we'll support these great singers. But then one side of it is, are people going to have the money? Like, I've no work at all. I'm on the emergency wage thing. Like, my income totally gone, and I don't know for how long. And are people going to have the money to go to them? But then the other side of it is, will people just want to get out and get going again? And just because even last year for me, I worked so hard, I didn't go dancing. Well, I was injured because I was on tour, like yourself. I was on tour in February in England for a week, and then I went to Germany for 5 weeks, and as an Irish dancer, for those that don't know, I'm also an Irish dancer, and I ended up having to come home early because I got injured after 2 weeks. So I was badly injured all of last year, couldn't really dance. I went to the odd dance or two, and I left early because I was sitting there enjoying myself, and people were asking me to dance, and I was like, I had a dance or two, but I was in so much pain I couldn't. So I was sitting down and somebody asked me to dance, and I said, I can't. And they said, what do you mean you can't? Sure, I saw you out there earlier. And I said, well, I'm actually injured. And they were like, no, you're not, you're just too good to dance. You're the dance teacher, you don't want to dance with us. And I was like, if that's what people think, that just because I'm the dance teacher and I don't dance at a dance, and they thought I was being like uppity and didn't want to dance with them. And I was gutted, and I left early that night, and I didn't go back to a dance then all summer, because I was just a bit like, are people going to think now who's your one, not wanting to dance? So last year I didn't do a whole lot. I went to a few festivals, which is grand, and went to a few bits and bobs. But I was kind of saying, well, this year now will be my year. I'll go to way more stuff. And the thing is, I mean, I love going anyway and I enjoy going, but you kind of have to go to things as well to keep in, you know, to see people and meet people, and just to catch up with people, really. Like, and I mean, thankfully with the TV show, I do get to go to some gigs and do a bit of work. Like, so some gigs I'm working at, some gigs I'm just at as a spectator. I'm going on a round robin here as to where I'm going. I'm in two ways about how the social dancing scene is. I mean, I'm assuming the bands will just pick back up where they left off, and I'd say it could be nuts, it could be just mental.
Stopping people coming in.
But then it's, well, like some people are saying, it'll be next year, you know. And I mean, there's only so many live Facebook video gigs.
I haven't done one yet, and a lot of people have asked me would I do one.
Why not? You should.
Me and my friends, I have a friend that's in Riverdance, Tara Howley and Gavin Cochran.
Oh yeah, I know Tara, because she was Tara in Limerick. I don't know, does she do it?
Yeah, she left after first year. She dropped out.
Tara
is a very good friend.
I know all the, you know, you just know all the names.
Yeah, I know the circle again. And Gavin Coughlin, who plays music with me all the time, and we wanted to do it alive together. And I'm the type now, if I'm doing it, I have to do it right. I just couldn't do it half measures. So when I can actually be in the same room as the lads, then maybe we might, you know.
Maybe in a few weeks, like, that would be great.
Yeah.
It's so hard to know where it is going to go. I don't think it's going to die a death or anything. I mean, I think as soon as things are going to be back up and running, gigs will be back up and running, but it's how do you monitor how many people are going? And even for me in classes, I'm a bit worried, will my classes be able to start back well, because technically it's jiving, the kids are holding hands. I can do line dancing, no problem, because the kids won't be touching, but it's jiving junior is going to be, we have to rename or something. We'll see what happens. Like, I am worried, and I miss all the schools. I mean, even the schools have affected me big time, and I'm kind of hoping out for a summer camp still. I'm kind of half hoping I may be able to squeeze one in August, but we'll see what happens.
See what happens. Fingers crossed.
No, it's a mad time for the country music scene, and even when you think of the likes of Nathan and Derek and all them who are doing so well with it, to be just, I mean, be it you're singing in pubs, you're singing at your level, you're singing like Nathan, everyone's on the same boat, like, so.
Yeah, and a lot of people have to understand as well, let alone Nathan or Derek or Johnny, Robin Mazzell, everyone on the scene, everyone has a lot of overheads, you know, and there's a lot of things that still have to be paid and stuff like that. And that's why I was doing an interview with Hot Country TV, and Hugh was asking me, what would you say to your fans? And, you know, not just my fans, I'd say to anyone, just support who you follow. Listen to them on Spotify, listen to them on iTunes, listen, you know, go onto their merchandise, buy a CD, a physical CD, you know, just helping them out, giving that €5 or £5 here and there can go a long way if people, you know, do help. And I know money is very, very tight, but then you have the side of just streaming. If you have services that you can listen to them on iTunes and Spotify and even YouTube, you know, so there is a lot of ways that you can still support artists by sitting at home, you know.
Yeah. And especially when you have more time, like even when I went to Tesco this morning, I just threw you on Spotify just to get into Clodagh frame of mind for the interview. But like, I'd have you on playlists or whatever, but I just listened to the songs on Spotify, like, and I'm listening to more music now. Like, I'm listening to artists I wouldn't usually listen to just because I have the time.
Yeah, the time now. Yeah, you're not, and it's a nice way too that, you know, you can reflect on a lot of things. Like I'm not too bogged down about the coronavirus. I'm obviously bogged down about the coronavirus itself, but the whole staying at home, it's not bad. Like there's a lot you could invest in yourself as a person if you want to, by sitting at home. And you know, I do miss just meeting my friends. I think that's what I just miss. But hopefully now next week or whenever we can start meeting in gardens, that'll be fine. Like I don't mind that at all. Yeah. But this is definitely a time for anyone that wants to find out more about people, or, you know, find more out about yourself. It's a great time, really. You know, we never get this time again, like never.
That's so true. And if somebody told me last year that you're going to not have any work for 3 months, 4 months next year, I'd be in bits. And funnily enough, I'm fine. Like I don't think I've actually cried once about not having a job at the moment. I've just, like, I've been grand. Like it's because I was working stupid hours. Like I was working 14-hour days. Like,
yeah, so it's nice to
silly. And now I actually have time. Like this is my little dance room in here. Like, and I have my own. I'm so lucky. I have my own. Well, I'm in my home house with the family. We have a dance studio, and here I have a little studio. So it's great. I have my own little space that I can just do my thing. Like, but fitness wise, oh my god, because I'm not dancing anymore.
I know.
Crazy. I saw actually this morning. I saw you were out for a bike ride, and then I woke up. I was like, I'm fucking going for a walk this morning. I was like, I have to fucking do this. I tell you, you're inspiring people not just through your singing, but through your bike rides.
I got a bike. My God, I'm like a little bridey going down the road with my bike in a basket.
Singing.
Yeah, I mean, the bike is great. And see, the weather is what's keeping me going as well. And if the weather was bad, I think it might be a different Clodagh you'd be talking to. But the weather's keeping me going. I'm like, look, I'll keep interacting with my music, try and get like shows together in my head that if in the morning that I got the opportunity that I can just like, here's a set list, bye, good luck, just do that there. You know, there's a lot to be said for it. But fingers crossed we'll get back to it very, very soon.
Absolutely. I'm just looking here on my list of notes. We've actually kind of automatically talked about a lot of the things, but I think going back to where you were talking to Megan and about kind of the radio and TV, how do you think country music is represented? I mean, there's two sides of it. There's the local radio and all that, and then there's the national side of it. And I think me and you will probably have the same thoughts on it. Like, how do you think country music is represented on TV and radio?
I think it's definitely seen second to a lot of other things, and it's such a pity because in the morning, if you have festivals and they sell out straight away, and you have country festivals that come from America, country to country, that goes to Dublin, for 3 days, and that sells out for 3 days. That's the bones of like nearly 80,000 people in Dublin for country music, And, I suppose you do have stuff like Electric Picnic that brings thousands of people well for pop music and R&B and everything. But I would just love if national radio appreciated, not that they don't appreciate country music, but if they just gave it that play maybe after Beyonce or whoever, because on the same thing, like, you have, it's still music at the end of the day. So if it's good, it's good. It doesn't have to be because it's not, pop and stuff like that. And I do understand as well that some stations do have a target market and a niche and what they go for. But it'd be nice if if there was no problem to get country music played on the likes of RT, or not that it is played on them, but it's just a bit more frequent to be lovely. And I've always said I'd always love to think that I could have a radio show with just country music, like Downtown Radio in the North,
Yes.
But it's just seeing that, and I definitely know that there's a demand for it. Definitely there is.
Yeah, because I mean, all the local, I'm sure there's Clare FM, is it?
Yeah,
country hours or a country show, like up here Midwest would be my local one, and I mean Midwest is country music central, like, so
yeah, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, Midwest is kind of what got me into country music, because that was what was on growing up, like, I'm sure that's all country, like. But yeah, and I mean, I know Ryan Tubridy has done so much for the Late Late Show and the country music special and all that. That's once a year, like.
Yeah, yeah. And I would love so much, Sandra. I literally am trying my hardest to get back on the Late Late Show.
Well, I'll tell you now, it's tough, because
it's so tough, and I just want to get the opportunity to show what you've done for me in the last year, but I know that there's a long list of other people there as well, but I would just, I don't know what it is, I would just love if country was appreciated that bit more.
Yeah, well, I spoke on the Late Late Show. Dear, you had said Ger was on.
Yeah, it was up behind you on the back.
That was 2000, and that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and the only reason I got to talk was Driving Juniors were supposed to open the show. And we were open the show, and it was all sorted, blah, blah, blah. And then Big Tom passed away on the Monday, and we were recording on the Wednesday, and I got a call to say, unfortunately, the kids will not be opening the show. We don't think it's appropriate. Fine, that's grand. So I had to go and ring 20 parents and tell them bad news, and the kids were distraught, and it was so sad. So then I can't remember who I was talking to. Kim was the name of the producer I was dealing with. He had said, right, you can still come up to the show and we'll interview you. So I was like, sound, delighted. Gutted the kids couldn't be on, but I was like, this is great. So I got to talk to him, and my Facebook hopped. That's why I was asking you, how did yours go? My Facebook hopped because I mentioned Driving Juniors once. I got 1,000 likes. It went nuts for me. So I was delighted. This is great. So then I said to them, is there any chance we can get Driving Juniors back on? And they said, yeah, no problem. Like, we'll get them on in a few weeks. So I was like, buzzing, delighted. So they brought us on then about a month later with Robert Brazett. And because I was so caught up in it and delighted that we were going to get onto it, I didn't think about it properly. So we went on, and that was fine. And I was like, oh my God, Facebook's going to blow up. This is going to be nuts. Like, everyone's going to be raving about it. I think I got 10 likes.
Yeah, it's funny. It's social media is funny, and that's one thing I would say. Like, you could put up something and it might get some recognition. You put up something else and it gets huge recognition. But then you have to you try not to get yourself down about it then as well, because you're kind of thinking, then what did I do wrong in that video?
Well, do you know what it was? It was because there was no country music audience watching it. It was just the normal Irish public. And I asked them then last year, the year you were on it, any chance, Driving Juniors could be on it again, because obviously the adult dancers were opening the show. I said, you should have a representation of the youth. And they literally wrote back and said, sorry, you were on last year, regards. Literally, that's what they told me. So that's why when you said you'd love to get on again, I was like, thinking, well, they literally, not that I'm saying you wouldn't, Jesus, that sounds awful, but I tried to, say, any chance of a child representation again, and they literally just said, no, you're on it already. So in hindsight, I shouldn't have just jumped and said, yeah, we'll come on. I should have waited. So that's my regret. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that someone reaches out to me and asks. But sure, look, if it's for me, it won't pass me. I keep telling myself everything in this industry.
And I mean, there's going to be other country music special. I mean, there would have been one this year at Easter. It's usually the end of April. And you never know. Next year they might be saying, let's see how our winner is getting on. And God knows where you'll be then. That's another year away. Like,
oh God, I don't know. But I'm trying to keep positive about it all. Hopefully I'll be a bit bigger.
Bigger? Jesus, how big are you getting?
Bigger in a way that I just, I'd love to think that if I put on shows or dances that, there'd be no fear that I would be ever afraid that people wouldn't come. And I was doing a show, my first show here in the village where I'm from before.
Did that go ahead?
No, I had to cancel it because of the coronavirus. But I saw the demand there, and I could, you can always see the traffic who bought tickets, and they weren't anyone local. So that actually really you know, made me happy. It's like, okay, people actually want to come and see me. So hopefully now I might steer an out show and an album launch now as my next one. So
lovely. Yeah, no, that'd be great. And I mean, if you time it right, you know, people will be mad to go. Well, they'll be mad to go anyway, but might be even more mad to go because people will be coming out of this lockdown and it'll be a novelty and it's just be for people to get out and about and all that kind of thing.
Fingers crossed. We think that they're good anyway. And hope.
We know your plans for the future, so because I'm here looking at my list of notes again, like you have the album, Please God, coming out September or slightly after, depending on how all this goes. So we have that to look forward to, and you have your Spotify, and yeah, I suppose the only other things I bring up, especially if I have a female singer on, is how do you find the female versus the male side of things in the scene? Like obviously there's more males, but then there seems to be more females, younger females and new and up and coming females coming on the scene.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's absolutely, obviously you want to have that 50-50 ratio, and nearly a couple of years ago you could have said the females outdid the males a couple of years ago, like Philomena, Susan McCann, Margot, you know, Louise Morrissey. There were so many females a couple of years ago on the same level as the guys, and not that there's any difference, but you know, obviously sometimes the guys are nearly more attractive, you know, that girls just flee for them, like, you know. And I see that when I was doing a few spots with Nathan, I just couldn't for the lot, because I'd never been on tour, like, not, it wasn't on tour, Nathan, but I went to festivals, you know, a few festivals with him, and just to see the women. And it was like my mother would always describe to me about Jo Dolan when she was younger. And sure, I could never comprehend it in my head, because like, it was like, how could anyone name, like, could that happen? And Jeannie, you know, seeing the few shows that I went with Nathan, and the same people too. Yeah, and that's what made it more uplifting to look at, because you just have the real people that follow him, and they're not just people that tag along at one or two events. They go to a lot of shows. And I would love to think that maybe someday I'll have, not that I want a throng of fellas following me, but I would love to think that I could have as much as a following as the males do, I suppose. You know, not that the males are any bit better than the women that are out there. You know, Cleona is smashing. Olivia Douglas is absolutely amazing. Claudia Buckley is outstanding lately. You know, everyone is doing so well, and it's great to see it. And I do think that, you know, the girl power is there, and Shauna brought out her new single there yesterday, and I just think it's brilliant. Chantel Padden brought out her album. It's nice to support the females, and I think some people then, you know, would think that other females wouldn't want other females doing well because, you know, girls being girls, but like, that would be beyond what I'd ever think. You want to be pushing for women to do well in any industry, and especially in the country music scene, that you'd like equal play and equal TV, radio slots, you know, festivals, you know, anything like that. Yeah. For girls, because sometimes you do look at a billboard and it is all males, like, and there is females there.
Yeah, there's mainly males, and there might be a female thrown in just to
there's a lot of females there now coming, definitely in the last year, like, you know. Well, Livia's been there the last couple of years, but she's really, her following has grown so much over the last couple of years that, you know, Cleona, Claudia, Shauna, trying to think of everyone else now, Chantel, there's so many of us, you know, and it's so great to see. So I'd hope that next year that there will be just as many females at a festival as males. That's the only thing I'd like to see.
I think there's more new females than new males coming out. I have noticed that. But even on the social dancing scene, I feel like it was always the dance teachers were always male. I kind of noticed that. So I think there's a few more women coming into it now as well.
Yeah, which is really good, you know. But hopefully
quality all the way.
Quality, yes.
Have you found people are interacting more with you on social media over the last few weeks, or is it just the same as it's always been?
Me and Johnny Cash has done really, really well, and, you know, people sending videos and stuff like that, and TikToks and all that. So that's been really uplifting to see, because the song was an upbeat kind of a summer song that I wanted, and because of the festival season, I thought to be a great one, great interaction one with the crowd. And
you got the lyrics video as well. Alan Clark done that, didn't he?
Yes, Alan Clark did my lyric video. Amazing. He's such a cool guy, Alan, as well.
Yeah, he's great. I've done a lot of work with him over the years, just music videos, and even he roped my boyfriend Michal into a few videos as well. So he's great. He's great to work with.
So lovely. It was my first time working with Alan now. I knew of of Alan, obviously, again in his company through everyone else, but I'd never worked with him, so it was great to get to work with someone different as well, you know, and spread it out amongst everyone. And where was it going now? We talked about so much.
We're rambling. I know, we're chopping and changing for everything. And you swear we knew each other.
I know. Oh yeah, the music video. Yeah, that was really good. And everyone just reaches out, you know, and I try to put up a music video every few days to let people know I'm still here and different songs. And I like to know like what people like to hear, because at the end of the day, when you're doing a dance, you want to play what people want to hear, not what you want.
I've noticed you do a lot of would you rather me sing this song or this song, so that's helpful, like for you to know, you know, or even, you know, if you get kind of even Stevens on the songs, you know, well, both of them will work. Like, that's great.
That's a nice way to do it. And look, Facebook is great, Instagram is great, it's everything is great. I don't think, like, nothing has really. The only thing that I found hard about all this was just that I thought this summer would be a summer that I could have proven myself a bit more, because I was getting actual slots this year. You know, I wasn't just singing one or two songs here and there, and you know, I was getting really, really good gigs. You know, gigs that weren't even mentioned yet because they were slowly going to be mentioned. And so yeah, unfortunately, you know, that's the only kind of downside of this whole thing. But it's not the end of country music, and it's not going to be the end of Clodagh Lawlor either, hopefully. And just gotta just keep thinking that way. Do you know, that's literally the only way I can keep thinking it. I've also the Oprah Winfrey.
I have that as well, and I read it, but I didn't read it properly, so I have it left beside the bed ready to read again.
Yeah, I have the audiobook and I just put it in my ears now to be thinking there, and I wake up and I feel like Gandhi that I'm ready to take on the words. And I'm like,
it's just
I have it.
But that's it. You just keep positive, keep going, and as you said, this isn't the end of Clodagh Lawlor.
No, it's not.
It's only the start. It's only the start.
Without sounding big-headed when I say that, I mean that in a positive way, that it isn't the end of me, and hopefully it will be only the start of a lot more.
But the funny thing is, you don't sound one bit big-headed, and you have grown so much since the Late Late Show, and your following and your figures on Instagram and Facebook, but you seem so down to earth, and there's no crap. Like, you just seem like you do you, and like, even the way you talk about the Late Late Show, like, you appreciate how great it was, and you were on it, and it's brilliant, but you just sound so down to earth. And I think that's what's needed, because I think, I don't know, did we say it at the beginning of the podcast or when we were talking off the podcast, how you can tell when somebody has the TV face and the interview persona, and they literally.
Yeah, and you know what? There's absolutely no need for that with anything in life. Just, you know what? I'm just kind of like, and I'm literally, when I say what you see is what you get, and there'll be no putting anything on. You know, my friends will tell you that. Like, I'm nearly too stupid to be anything else, because I'd be halfway through it and I'd start stumbling. I can't lie.
Too much hard work.
I can't lie either. I wouldn't be able to lie. I could be standing there, you'd see it written all over my face. Yeah. I'm like, do you know what? I'm not going to try and put up any bit of a front. And literally going to be me. If people like me, thank God. If they don't, then it's a pity, not a problem. And you just have to get on with it, because there will be people that won't like you. And look, there will be people that don't like you because they see you getting on in life. And that's the same with everything. Let it be, you know, any career, you know, and that's just something you can't prevent. And I have been, you know, guilty of being the people pleaser and wanting people to like me. And then, you know, when you hear people like, oh, maybe if they don't like me, like, why don't they like me? You know, I've never met them or anything like that. But these are the things that are so out of your control and will only bring you down in the end, and start self-doubting yourself. That I've come too far to start self-doubting myself now. So, you know, I let all that behind me and keep going towards what I want, really. You know, when I put up a picture yesterday on Instagram of when I was busking, and, you know, the two pictures of busking, I was 16. God, the cut me. And I was wearing this little dress.
I still did. It doesn't look like it.
And I can't find everything. And then, you know, I'm 25 now. Like a few years later on the Late Late Show, you know, and the Late Late Show will always be obviously the highlight of my career so far. But for me, the highlight is how hard working I have been, and I haven't given up on myself, because so many young girls message me going, Clodagh, how will I be able to achieve what you've achieved, or how will I get into the country music scene? And sometimes I just never have an answer, only just don't give up and just believe in yourself, because there's nothing There's nothing else. No one else can do it for you, only yourself.
Yeah, you have to put the work in. That's it. Like, it's not by accident. I mean, there's the odd person it is by accident, but like, you do put the work in. I don't think you realize the work you put in until you look back. Like,
and like that today on the interview with Megan, she was talking about all these things, and I nearly forgot that I'd done them. And I was like, God, we were actually going so fast in life that we forgot about things, because I'm so guilty of this, that I do something and then I'm like, okay, on to the next thing now. How will I prepare myself for that? And then I get like, I got the biggest TV slot in the entire country, the Late Late Show, and then the next day I was like, right, okay, so this is what we need to do now. And my dad's like, should you not just take that all in? And Mom was like, you need to like soak what you have to do. And I said, no, that's over now. I said, that's behind me now.
I'm laughing because that's literally exactly me. I'd go into me hall and go, okay, I'm starting a podcast, and he's like, do you not think you've enough on? Like, you've got this and you've that, and I'm like, what can I do now? What's next? I'm such a beck and goer, and that's why
go. I'm like, okay, I got this, on to the next thing straight away.
But I never really get too stressed out. I'm always like excited about it, and I think this lockdown has helped, but even has helped me to settle down. But I'm still like, well, what will I do next? Because I've had this podcast in my head since November, December, and I made a logo and put it up on Facebook like in November, but I never actually got around to doing it. And then I got all the gear, and it was only then I said, well, if I don't do it now when I actually have the time and people are free, and you know, that kind of way, because other than that, like, if this was outside of Corona, I probably would have said, I'll drive down to Clare, meet you. Like, I'd be like, road trip. I know. I'll go down and meet you. Like, that's probably what I would have ended up doing. Like, so it's actually working out better because people are free, people will talk, and people have more chance of getting people to do it because they're not doing it.
Well, when this is all over, we'll organise a night down in Clare anyway, so you'll have to come down.
for your album launch.
God, hopefully. Please God.
Oh, we've talked about so much. I feel like we haven't even talked that much about country. We've talked about what to do if you're unsure about your leaving cert, how to motivate yourself, read Oprah Winfrey.
It's ongoing.
We've talked about a wide range of topics, but I am so delighted to have you on, because to be honest, I was a bit nervous asking you, because I'm here looking at these 17,000 followers, and I was like, is this one going to just politely say I'm sorry? And I was like, so delighted when you said yeah, because like I mean, you're so down to earth and you're so lovely, but I would still look up to you as in, well, she's a singer now, she's got a few likes. Like, I was like, I'm only delighted. I'm so glad to have you on, and it's great to properly chat to you and properly meet you in inverted commas.
I know, but through the computer. But that's the best part of social media, that we can still do it what we love, you know. And the way you say there, because I'm a singer, at the end of the day, you know, I always say to people, they're like, oh, unfortunately, the only unfortunate thing about it, my career that I chose, my love, my passion, could see myself doing nothing else, is just that bit more out there. You know, it doesn't take from anyone else doing anything else in the world, and I think it's just because I'm a bit more out there that people are like, oh God, that's the singer, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the doctor, and that's the nurse, and that's the accountant, and that's, you know, you just, it's kind of like you're segregated into this, like, oh God, that's the one that sings, and she was on the Late Late Show with Nathan Character, and you know, you hear that, like, and you'd be laughing. And I remember I was in the line one day in the shop, and I was standing up, and like, I can imagine what it's like to actually be someone big like Cleona or Nathan or Derek or Johnny or Mike, you know what, all these. And they were standing up, and this little girl said, Mom, I think I know her. And I was like, I won't turn around now, because I'll be mortified if they don't know who, you know, if they think I'm someone that I'm not. And then she was like, go on, ask her. And this little girl said, Bunny Cheska, I get a picture with you because you sang on the Late Late Show. Like, oh my God, people just think because you've been on telly or TV that you've got this like different career or viewpoint in life, and it's completely the opposite, you know. I'm still only a person that's doing what she loves, you know, because if I had brains to be a doctor, I probably still wouldn't have been one. You know, I still would have been a singer. I still would have been the singer and gone for what I wanted. So we're all the same. Nobody's better than anyone else, I don't think.
We're just absolutely. You're just flying it, and you're full of words of wisdom. It's a breath of fresh air to talk to you. I'm feeling great. No, I'm so glad, Clodagh, and thank you so much for chatting to me on the Country Chats podcast. And who knows, we might have you back again in a year, and we'll see how you're getting on. But for anyone who isn't following Clodagh on Facebook, go on there, get her to 18,000. She's only 200 likes away. I you see I'm doing PR for you here. I know exactly how many likes you need. And she's flying it on Insta, and you have a website as well, don't you?
Yeah, everything Clodagh Lawlor Music. You'll find me up in all the social media outfits just with that.
There we go. There we go. So Clodagh, thank you so much. It was great to talk to you, and please God, we'll talk to you soon.
We will, of course. We'll see each other at festival very soon, hopefully.
Please God. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Bye.